So, have you ever wondered what your archetype is? What archetypal theme are you here to embody? I have too. I have wondered that because I hear this word archetype thrown around in many circles all around me, and while I know what archetype means, I kind of didn't know the exact meaning. I was like, well, I get what it means, but what does it mean? So I looked it up, and archetype simply means it's the first mold or a model of something. Yeah, a model, something, or it's the original model for something. And so when I think of that, feels like a much better explanation. So, what is my archetype? What is the thing that I'm here to model, to be an exemplar or an example of? And I recently had like a little aha inspiration and did an oracle session. And this will relate to people who are involved with gene keys. And what I recently discovered, and you may have probably have already figured this out, where in the gene keys can we find our archetype in the gene keys? And the answer is yes, according to what I received. And the answer is it's in your life's work, or AKA your brand. And what I got was what Richard is really saying is brand is meaning your archetype. And the sage in the oracle session totally agrees that archetype means, brand equals archetype equals the thing that you are here to model and embody. And why are you here to model and embody that? Because your life's work sphere, for me, has always, it's been that thing, that one sphere and all of its, well, definitely its shadow qualities, the thing that has triggered your seeking for everything. This lifetime, your life's work sphere is what you've been seeking. Like, for example, mine is silence 24. I have been, that's all I want. Like silence, even in my environment, please just, I need it to be silent, quiet, quiet. All my life, that has been an underlying theme. Just, I need silence, silence, right? Before the gene keys. And it has been the catalyst, or the shadow quality of silence has been the catalyst to my seeking. And you're seeking, like you're seeking that thing that is already within you, right? And that thing that is already within you is the thing that you resonate most with. So if you resonate most with it, then of course you can be the best example of it. So your archetype, the thing that you are here to be an example of, is of course the brand, but it includes the entire pearl sequence. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, I got a hit on that. And it is the silence, or the brand, whether the gift or the city, however you want it, whatever intuitively feels like the right words for you. It's the brand, those frequencies that you utilize in your vocation to make it, to make you a better vocationer, right there. So what do I mean by that? If I have silence and my vocation is 13, listening, then obviously I use my exam. I would use silence while listening, and that's what makes me a better listener. So does that make sense? And then the culture sphere just takes care of it. Well, it's self-explanatory. Then you use however you fit best in the world. And then of course the pearl takes care of itself. But what I also got was that the gene keys doesn't necessarily point to, see, the pearl sequences are the talents and gifts that have been with your natural talents and gifts that you've always sought from the beginning of your life, and that you've always already been good at. These are just like your talents. But within the Gene Keys thing, it doesn't necessarily tell you what your external doingness would be out in the world. And I know many of you may totally disagree with me, but the pearl is just pointing out your gifts. And yes, you use those gifts. You are to bring those innate talents into the doingness out into the world. And what I've discovered is that the soul contracts that some of you out there are familiar with, the things that I work with, the Hebrew letters and your birth name. There is a section in there that's called your physical goals, that the sage indicates that Hebrew letter and its correlated codon ring / gene keys truly indicates your inspired action out into the world. It shows you your doingness, and that you can bring your archetypal pearl talents into that doingness out into the world. Does that make sense? So I don't know. I just thought I would share that with you. You may not agree. I know that there are, much more expertise and Gene Keys people out there than myself, but I just had this inspiration and thought I would share it with you. At least you'll know what your archetype or what you are here to be an example of. Okay, until next time.